I'm Andrew Phillips. Welcome to my channel. Today we are here at the Dover Air Force Base in Dover, Delaware at the Air Mobility Command Museum. We're going to be checking out, you can see right here behind me, this VC-9C jet that was used as Air Force 2 for vice presidents from all the way from Walter Mondale to Dick Cheney. It was also used occasionally as a fill-in for Air Force 1 for Presidents Ronald Reagan and Bill Clinton. But today we're here, we're going to be doing a full overview of it. Let's head on inside and get started.
In 1975, 3 VC-9 jets arrived at Andrews Air Force Base in Maryland. These were to provide first-class transportation to U.S., Central, and South American airports for cabinet members, members of Congress, high-ranking Department of Defense personnel, and the First Lady. This particular vehicle here, tail number 73-1682, was one of those 3. It was later modified by E-Systems with a secure communications package in order to serve as Air Force 2, to be used for vice presidents as well as some of the presidents and other high-ranking personnel and world leaders. From the year 1975 until 2005, it was part of the 89th Airlift Wing at Andrews Air Force Base in Maryland, and then from 2005 until 2011, it was part of the 932nd Airlift Wing at Scott Air Force Base in Illinois. The VC-9C was redesignated to the C-9C in 1977. This aircraft was manufactured by McDonnell Douglas and has an overall length of 119 feet 5 inches. The height on this is 27 feet 6 inches, and it has a wingspan of 93 feet 5 inches.
Just a little bit of history about this plane as well. In addition to carrying vice presidents and a few of the presidents of the United States, it also carried Queen Elizabeth II, and several first ladies also traveled on this plane as well. This particular one here, this is held here, as we've talked about already, here at the Dover Air Force Base in Delaware. So it also carried the Attorney General for the state of Delaware. That's on the flight log inside, which is pretty cool. So definitely a lot of history on this plane. That's why I wanted to come here and do this overview of it. I've been at this museum here at the Air Force Base several other times, and as mentioned already, you can check out my full overview of the museum, some of the other stuff that they feature here, if you want to see just the brief overview. But I wanted to come back and do this one specifically because of the history. Do plan on coming back and doing some of the other ones, because every plane at this museum has history. They're not just putting just random planes in here. They all have a story to them, which is pretty cool.
This aircraft, designated the Douglas VC-9C Nightingale, can fly at a top speed of 565 miles per hour at 35,000 feet.
Checking out these awesome engines. This plane here, which is a VC-9C, has two 14,500 pound thrust Pratt & Whitney JT 8D-9 turbofan engines. See it right there. Here's the other engine. See that? It's a smaller aircraft. When we head inside, I'll show you some of the, they have a kind of some scaled models comparing this to Air Force One, which is the big 747. You can see how much smaller it is, but it's still a nice aircraft for world leaders. It's a very cool aircraft, awesome piece of history. We're gonna head around the other side and go inside, do a full tour of the inside, check everything out. So let's head over there. That's pretty cool. You have the vice presidential seal there on the door. Normally on like Air Force One, you'd have the presidential seal. Even though the president did use this one sometimes, this was pretty much designated for the VP.
This VC9C is broken into three sections. You have this forward section here, which includes the cockpit, as you can see there, where the pilot and co-pilot would normally be.
Very cool.
Then the next section here, there's a 4-seat security police area in this area here for the Secure Communications Center. Next, you have the stateroom area here in the center, and most of the time it was carrying VPs, so you had Walter Mondale, George H.W. Bush, Dan Quayle, Al Gore, and Dick Cheney in these areas here. Also, First Ladies Rosalind Carter, Nancy Reagan, Barbara Bush, Hillary Clinton, Laura Bush, and Michelle Obama also utilized this area as well. Now, when the aircraft was required to travel smaller distances and it was used for Air Force One, you had Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush when he was president, Bill Clinton, and George W. Bush that used this area here as the president. This was also used to transport visiting world leaders such as Queen Elizabeth and the Chief of Staff of the People's Republic of China. Here's a picture of how it looked back in the 70s when everything was new in here. You can see the upholstery was dated, but then it was later upgraded here to the dark navy blue and gray leather. And then coming back here into the third section of the plane here towards the back, this aft section serves as a combination staff and passenger compartments, has an additional 39 first-class airline seats and a restroom towards the back. You can see some of the phones there on the wall, and then looking forward there into the stateroom from this angle. And you can see for the age of this aircraft, it's been well maintained and preserved. It still looks very nice in here. And if we come down here, here's an image also for this section here. You can see how it was originally, matching the upholstery that was in the stateroom area as well before it was changed out to the gray and blue leather.
How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Franklin Roosevelt was the first president to fly while in office. You can see the photograph there is of the plane he used, and this fairing on display was actually removed from his plane when it was taken out of service. On the left here is the Air Force II plane that we are currently in, and you can see its comparison here to the scaled model of Air Force One. You can see the size difference. Then coming along here, this other Air Force One on the far right is the one that President Donald Trump was commissioning while he was in office. The order was canceled after he got out of office, but you can see how much bigger it is, and he was actually getting a deal on some overstock 747s to make that happen at a lower cost.
We're not too fond of the orange paint scheme. They wanted something a little bit more diplomatic, a little bit more modern looking, so they actually commissioned an industrial designer named Raymond.
And then looking here, here's some other models on display of other Air Force Ones throughout history. You can see the ones on the left with the orange paint. That was the original paint scheme that was used, and it was done that way in case of an emergency. They could locate the plane easily. It was later changed to the traditional that you see here, the blue, the white, and the silver that's currently in use. The empty weight of this aircraft is 57,190 pounds, gross weight 114,000 pounds, and the maximum weight 121,000 pounds. This aircraft made its final flight on August 18th, 2011, when it flew in here to the Air Mobility Command Museum at the Dover Air Force Base. This features a tricycle retractable landing gear system with a maximum landing weight of 110,000 pounds.
Very cool aircraft. All the aircrafts here at this museum are very cool to check out. If you get an opportunity, if you're ever in the Dover, Delaware area, definitely check this place out. Free admission, open to the public. But this plane is a piece of history. It's awesome. But just checking it out. All right, well, that wraps up this overview on this Air Force II jet, this VC-9C, here at the Air Mobility Command Museum here at the Dover Air Force Base in Dover, Delaware. I hope that this overview was informative for you. Please send me any questions and comments. I would love to hear from you. Check out some of my other videos, overviews I've done. I did a full overview of this museum. You can check that out as well. But please like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.